this is important, and it's a great segue because what we just talked about has is a this scorecard is going to be a reflection of all those other things and how you navigate it. All right, so we're talking about net worths. So, you never, like, when you're looking up this stuff, you see average, you see median, average, obviously, average net worths naturally means that it's going to be higher because they're taking into account the outliers, the billionaires and things like that. And so they do median and to kind of calibrate some of those outliers. That's just paraphrasing, but that median. So from my understanding, and depending on what source you look at, I was looking at the Pew Research Center. You can look at others, but give or take, it's still not good. So African American net worth $27,000.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Let's not get into the semantics of it, but $27,000. When you hear that, what do you think about?
I mean, I'm glad it's not negatives, but
But I've heard
wow.
some people say negative. So, like, depending on what study you're looking at. So let's go from negative to 27,000. Is still, like, when you hear that, what are you thinking about?
I mean, so and this was median.
Medium.
Wow. So if I cut Black America in half, my knife would land on $27,000 net worth. To the
Median wealth
left
of
is
U.S.
everything
household.
else.
Yeah, median wealth of U.S. households in December 2021. Obviously, it's 2024, so things can change.
Mm.
But we just using a snapshot in time.
Mm.
So let me as you get some more. I'm gonna give you some more context. White households 250,000. Uh, it changed to uh 203,000. There was a 23% change. Blacks went from 27,100 to 15,000 actually. Hispanics 48,700, and then it went to 34,400. They still above black. Asians 320,000. It dropped to 224,000, and then it got
Is is this household to comparing household to household, like Black household?
yeah, and that's basically what they're trying to highlight in this study: median wealth of U.S. households. And the snapshot is December 2021. I came across this. I said, I'll bring it to the pod.
This is what I will say. Now, I ain't no money guru. Uh, Here's what I do know. Now, when I think of a household, I think of two people, at least, who are capable of contributing to the income. You might have a kid that's old enough to work, but you don't count that. You let them keep their money or whatever. But at least two people, okay, maybe a situation one person passes or whatever, it's just
Yeah.
one person income households. Things happen. But for a two-person household, I think that if you both have, I'm not sure what the median income is for Black man, Black woman, Black whoever. Well, let's just say 40,000. Or even, I'm trying to think if I'm more generous, 35. But let's just say 70,000. And that's median. That doesn't take into account age or where you are.
Yeah.
But so this includes people that's older who don't have more than that or have less than that. It includes the young people that's crushing it that have way more than that. But my main
Outlier.
take, yeah. So my main takeaway is that two in households with two incomes, that's at least at the normal level. You gotta be on higher income earner. You gotta be earning six figures. But after 2 to 3 years, I'll say after 5 years, you should surpass that. You should surpass that network.
But what if, I mean, that sounds easier said than done. What if you living day to day, check to check? what would, from a Gen Z perspective, what would you say?
Well, that's the problem. You wouldn't, you wouldn't, it's all a matter of perspective. And I'm not gonna plug this person's book, this person's name, but it's a book about y'all people on this might just get it. It's a very popular person about making a small change to affect the greater outcome of things, but just making a small change, a small thing. And I just started the book, so I'm not gonna act like I understand it, but like it's the same concept of I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? I forgot. I'm on the book now, trying to talk to the name.
No, we're just talking about, what would you say? You was just using an example of a
Oh
book
yeah.
of like 1%, like incremental growth, like with like
So
one change.
it's about, so think about changing your perspective, right? You wouldn't, if you were going to, it doesn't matter what level of football you're at, what level of football you're playing, whether you're playing youth, I mean, up to a certain age, like say 14 and up, you're playing high school, college, D1, D2, all up to the NFL. You wouldn't just come to practice. All right, fellas, go home. All right, fellas, show up to the game. Let's just play day by day. Let's play it day by day. Let's go day by day. We would actually get mad at them. Man, you messing up my parlay. We don't hold them to a standard we wouldn't hold
Yeah, yeah,
ourselves
yeah, yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah.
He missed a three, mess up your parlay. Now you cussing him out, sending him death threats. But you you got your pay cut for being late and no one called you out. You just it just happened.
Mm,
Okay.
mm.
But if MB show up to your job like, bruh, trash, boom, boom,
You
make
messing
a
up my
shot, dude.
parlay, bro. You ain't get that you ain't get the merit increase because your performance reviews suck.
Man, you misquoted. Now my parlay, my parlay. Tell me about my parlay now. You done misquoted 3 months in a row. But yeah, man, shoot. But just think about like, and of course it's easier said than done, but just think about taking that same shift and saying, I actually was just talking about this with one of my friends. Because me and him had first talked maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and we were just talking about money. And he was telling me about, what he had done and what he was looking to do in terms of his financial goals, where he had been and where he was looking to go. And so I was just, sharing some of my story too. I was telling him
Did you
like,
tell
hey
them to
man,
subscribe to the channel?
I should have. I should. Now I think about. That would have made that conversation a lot shorter. I should have said, "Man, 2 words. Click here." But
Yeah.
man. But I just told him. I said, "Hey, man. He. I won't say he's grown a lot, but he just came to me today and he was like, "Man, it just it hit different. It hit different having a plan for my money now. I got a plan. I feel prepared. I feel in control." And I was like, "You darn right. We're not kids no more. Right now, we're grown and." To what they say, plan to fail to plan. So unless you plan to fail with money, I would plan. I get the plan.
Yeah. Facts. Facts. Okay, so as we wrap, yeah, this is my passion, helping people build their network. Just growing up, you know, um, you don't know what you don't know. So I want to start there. So like, and so you extend grace and all that good stuff, but it's still, like you said, no one is obligated to teach you. And so even with the excuse of like, even with you extending grace of like, well, my parents didn't teach me about net worth. Their parents didn't teach them about net worth. But at the same time, net worth still exists. Buying more assets than liabilities still exists. It's existing, meaning like you might be off in where you are, where you live, and just never get to the conversation. But that does not mean it's not real. Like that does not mean it's not impacting your life. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? And so just because y'all didn't grow up having the conversations, hey, there was other families, they were having the conversations, like, and having money
right,
conversations outside of we can't afford it, just the stuff that have you in this state of lack, right? And so like I can't afford it, we can't do that, like, and so put
yeah,
that back, and you can just hear, and it's just more in that space. And so that's my passion, is to promote more families individuals to talk about money more. Like, you got to talk about money more. Like, and it doesn't mean that you worship money. Like, it's money is just a vehicle, but the undertone, but what it really is, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. So my wife and I, we took a couple financial courses, and yes, we wanted to ensure that we were on the same page with our finances. But what it also did was, money was just a subject and a topic and a vehicle that we were coming together around. But what it really built, what it really helped was the togetherness, the trust. It built the trust because we had to work together. We learned together. We grew together. And so those were the things that happened. And it was some of the best thing ever. And so, like, it enhanced our relationship, and money just happened to be the topic, but we worked together. And so it brought in some of those other things of family, and togetherness and things of that nature. And so, like, sometimes, so because sometimes people are like, well, y'all to talk about money. It's like, that's just a subject, but it's bigger than that.
Right,
Like,
for sure.
it's much bigger than that. And so I get
Yeah,
pretty passionate in that area, but I wanted to share that. And because that's my perspective, like, helping people build their net worth, one helping
yeah,
people and families build their net worth one day at a time. But really, what I'm secretly doing is, once you come together as a couple and you're talking about it, it's something that you all are doing together. And that's really important as well. And
right,
then, and it just becomes a tradition, and it just becomes what you do. And then now everyone's looking at you like you're weird. You're just an outlier, but you're not weird.
right. You know,
Because we want that to be
that's
the new
true.
normal. Because that we want that to be the new normal.
Right, right. You hit it on top of the head, especially. And I find it's certain phrases that certain women say. And I'm sure we have our phrases that we say that get at them, or maybe they don't understand. But there's certain phrases that they say that sometimes men, or I actually we don't decipher or we don't quite understand. It gets lost in the soup. Like, one of the words is security, safety. And so as a man, you're like, what mean? She means she wants safety, financial security and safety.
Yeah.
I get money. What is she talking about?
Yeah.
No, dude. How about this? Let's translate from women needs to dude needs to guy needs. She means she wants some stability, or not stability. What's the word? She means she wants some consistency, a routine, a pattern, something that's more predictable. It doesn't matter if you bring in 10K this month, hit a 4K month, or hit a 4 month drop patch, or it doesn't matter if you all these months you're making money, but only in half of the months do you save. The other half of the month, you just spend all of it. There's nothing left to show for it. And so she's like, "Yeah, babe, I'm making all this money, but I still don't feel good at the end of the month, like the way I felt at the beginning." And so just having these talks with your partner, and I want to. We're not here to come off as better than anybody. Really the difference is in talking about perspective, and really it's perspective and knowledge. Just knowing, like, oh, we can actually build up our net worths. Like, for
Yeah.
me, like, this school, it really, the difference between me and getting in was really a matter of me knowing I could get in and knowing to apply,
Yeah.
getting the tip, getting information. And so you gotta do what you can to get the information that'll change you and your family's lives. Like, wow, like, oh, because when I look at, back to your original question, what do I think of those numbers about the Black median income? I I don't think it's an income problem that's leading to on. I see that's a low number, especially when you compare it to more than 10 times, almost 10 times white net worth. I don't want to hear about no history, because okay, cool, you can claim history if they median net worth was a million, 10 million. Like,
Yeah.
dang, they just up. We can't even catch up. Like, 250 wasn't, it's high, but like, okay, I see what y'all working with. 27K is like, yo, what are we doing? So to me, at least, I'm like, yo, what are we doing? We can't really do nothing. And
Yeah.
so I say we, but
Yeah.
start with your individual household, figure out, yo, let's not just focus on how much we're making, but How much do we have to show for it at the end of the day, the end of the month, the end of the year? We run our numbers. What's our net worth?
Yeah. Money management help you get there. Take quick tip. Automate, check out the previous videos, automating your finances, automating your investing, automating your debt payoff, and basically what ends up automating your savings, which is different from investing, saving for that emergency fund. Before you know it, it's like it's happening on autopilot, and before you know it, time is passing, and then you see like, oh wow, man, it's growing. But guess what else is growing? The debt is decreasing, your investments is increasing, and you continuously going down the path of your career or whatever else you got going on. And if you are in a position where you are making more and more money, you're just able to increase what your automatic contributions are or what have you. And then but you got to play the long game. This isn't a short-term thing. And of course, there's a lot of nuances and things like that to take into consideration, historical context and things like that. But to be honest, you can get lost in that and you can become a victim and blame that, stay in that space and become hopeless. And so our thing is, let's control the controllables. Let's be hopeful. Let's have a plan and let's be practical. Let's do some practical things today. Like, can we look ourselves in the face? Like I remember ET say, look yourself in the face. ET, can you look yourself in the face of his old school TGIMs, right?
Yeah.
Um, like, can you genuinely look yourself in the face and say, I was literally a great steward of my income. Every dollar had an assignment, and I still have a negative net worth.
Mm,
Like, you're not gonna be able to say that because if you're doing everything that you possibly can with what you are and what you have, and like you're gonna start seeing some incremental growth, and everybody growth is different. But so like I just want to leave you with that to think about. And again, it's one perspective, our perspective. We had two perspectives. And, we just sharing things, but we just want to see people do better, be better, and we're living what we're talking about. We're on our journeys too. But I tell you one thing: my net worth ain't no $27,000. Like I surpassed that a long time ago. Like a
let's go.
long time ago. Like
Don't tell me one time.
and also, but for the folks that are there, that's okay. But let's work on a plan. Let's get to 28. Then let's get to 30. Then let's get to
Mhm.
32.
Yeah.
Let's get a 30. Like so, like it's about the plan. And then what ends up happening is once you start seeing that momentum, you start getting excited, you putting focus on it, and then you like, shoot, man, I need to get a man, let me get a side hustle, man. Let me get it up a little bit more. Like, and so
Yeah.
it starts generating energy in you, and like
Mm,
maybe you were going back to Dave Ramsey, maybe you were that person that was on that lazy side. And maybe you weren't lazy, maybe you just procrastinate, and and it can be perceived as being lazy, however you want to interchange those things. So um but then once you started taking action, you started moving, you started seeing progress. That's how it happens, And so, and you don't have to do it in a silo. Like, get help, get support. Like, it's a book
yeah.
called Who Not How. Like, understand who you understand. Once you decide what it is that you want, then identify who can help you get there. And
Mm.
so that's what I'll leave you with. Um, great comeback, great comeback episode. Feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Hey, we rolling, baby. We here. We here. Make sure you subscribe, like,
That's it.
comment, and to the next video. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Yeah. Let's go.